hope your day is full of cum towels and men with hamsters and cats and all of the fun things that make life worth living. Guys, we have an amazing episode of Shenk for you this week with the one, the only comedian Bianca Parato. But before we get into this week's episode of Shenk with Bianca, I just want to tell you that I'm coming to Phoenix, Arizona. That is right. I will be in Phoenix, Arizona at the end of March, March 27th. I am headlining one night only. And then April 11th through the 13th, I'll be in Canada, Nova Scotia at LOL Fest with Kim Congdon. And then May 14th and 15th, I will be in Oxnard at Oxnard Improv and Brea Improv. Get tickets to all of those shows. And for bonus content, you can find me on Patreon, patreon.com/Sara Weinshenk. I just dropped a whole set on there that's not online anywhere else. So check that out and let's do it. Let's get into this week's episode of Shenk with the one, the only Bianca. Guys, here it is. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Shenk. It's me, Sara Weinshenk, and today's guest is the one, the only comedian, Bianca Parato.
Woo!
Yeah, dude. I don't feel easily... I guess I am sensitive to artwork, apparently.
Yeah?
That was haunted.
Yeah, but that was also Pinocchio, which I think Pinocchio in general is kind of a...
Was that Pinocchio?
I think that was a guy cosplaying as Pinocchio. And
Pinocchio is a haunted tale.
Yeah.
Of a puppet that comes to life, and then remember he goes to the bad boy island with where the kids become donkeys.
I don't really remember the story of Pinocchio all that much. The general consensus of Pinocchio, though, is just kind of like creepy in general, where it's like it's like the first like sex doll, but like, like an old man
I have
creating...
no strings on me. It's like, yeah. What?
Did you see that movie Companion?
No.
Oh, you should watch it. It's pretty good. It's in theaters now.
What is it about?
Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, spoil it. If you guys are gonna see Companion, then just fucking fast forward a little. I don't know what to tell you.
Everybody just exits out. It's a good movie. I'll leave it vague. Essentially, it's like, you know, people are doing like the sex doll, like robots, like
yeah.
But it's like that, but they're very advanced. Like they look like you and I, and you can program their intelligence and their
no,
like
I don't
eye
need
color.
the sex doll being too smart.
Yes, well, he keeps her low.
Yeah, to make you feel better. I don't need a super intelligent sex doll.
I don't think that you want that. If anything, that's just like your mother or something.
Yeah, it becomes not a sex doll anymore.
Yeah, it's just
a
like
professor.
Your
like,
friend.
Yeah. A sex doll? I mean, imagine having a male sex doll. I can't.
That's just a vibrator.
Riding a sex doll?
No.
Fucking your... How do you have...
Well, here's the thing is...
Doggy style with your sex doll?
It was kind of nice because they're just like in love with you and they know how to cook for you and they clean. They're kind of like...
They cook and clean?
Yeah, they weren't just like a doll.
Oh, that's a boyfriend.
Yeah, it was more like a...
That's totally different, sweetie. I'm on board.
Yeah, it was like a partner. So they're just like a partner who's
like...
salad
tonight, sweetie.
They were like cooking like beautiful meals, plating them, and they're just like obsessed with you. Are you on board now?
Kind of. I'm more on board.
You're more on board. Hey, in the movie, I was like, I get it. It's still one of those things where you're like, I don't know how much I get it, but I get it.
There's like this one guy on Instagram. I don't know what his thing is. I was following him, and he literally is in a relationship with a sex doll.
Yeah. Okay. So it's actually called. I don't know about it when it's 100% sexual, but when you assign human feelings to an inanimate object, it's called anthropomorphism.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like a lot of us had that to a degree, especially as like children. You know,
totally.
Like I would rearrange. I've been like kind of talking about this too much lately, but I would like rearrange my stuffed animals on my bed. So because I was scared that some of them would feel lonely if they didn't get to sleep by me at night.
I was teaching them school.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like have chalkboards behind me and be like, okay, today we're gonna learn the alphabet. And then we'll break for recess.
Yeah. And then
okay, like that's how mentally ill I am. I also had Beanie Baby Hospital where I would operate on my Beanie Babies.
Do you ever like put on
in like 6th grade?
Too old, you know.
Too old to be operating on the Beanie Babies. Like a little bulldog would be in recovery. I'd type up a report. give him a prescription, tell him to sleep, and I'd see him in a week.
Do you ever, wait, that's actually like so cute.
It's so
And
mentally
to think
ill.
your parents were looking at you one day and being like, she's gonna be a doctor.
Yeah.
And now you're like,
I was the original Doc McStuffins.
yeah, exactly. Do you ever like put on a shirt though because you're like, oh, I haven't worn this one in a while. I don't want it to be sad.
Yeah, or sometimes I do. And sometimes I'll talk to my clothes. I'll be like, okay, you're going to be in the rotation next week. Don't worry.
Yes.
What is that? That's
That's anthropomorphism. So it's kind of like
it's mental illness,
It is.
Bianca.
Hey,
There's
if
a
it's got a
fancy
name,
word
it's not
for mental
good. Yeah.
illness. Anthropomorphism.
if something adds an ism, ends in ism, you're
It's
not.
not your fault.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. And that's kind of I feel like what like sex styles are, but like to a much higher degree. Like the people, have you ever seen the guy who's like they're like in love with their car? There's a woman who's like in love with that roller coaster.
Those people are extra sick. To be
Yeah.
in love with a car,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of men are in love with their cars.
I actually just
When
saw
they name them.
this thing. It was this is an inanimate object, but you know like Tesla, like
Yeah.
he was in love with like a white dove.
An animal?
Yeah. Like he like loved it the way he would love a woman. And then like
Nikola Tesla.
yeah, and then when the dove died, he was like, I'll never love again.
That's sad.
And this is one of the people that people regard as like one of the smartest men. And he's just like, man, if I could fuck that dove.
No, do you think that he thought maybe the dove was like his lover in a previous life? Sometimes I have interactions with animals and I'm like, we've known each other before.
Yeah. You see too far into my soul.
Yeah, sometimes when an animal look into your soul, it's a bit much. It'll make you feel naked. You'll be like, I'm sorry, I wasn't ready for this level of eye contact and connection with something with fur.
Can I be honest about something?
Yeah.
So some women, and you see men do this all the time, they like get a dog because they're like, oh, like
Yeah,
this is gonna be great for getting pussy.
right.
I love like puppies. Like I told you, I'm dog sitting this
Yeah.
weekend. Like, and I like animals. When I was like single and dating, I actually found it to be a turn off when guys had a dog.
Really?
Yeah, because here's the thing is if like they have a dog, that means that most likely like the dog sleeps in bed with them, which is gross to me.
Yeah.
And also I'm like, okay, so then now I have to sleep in your bed with this dog. I don't know this dog. I have no like connection to this
I have
dog.
no skin in the game.
I have no
sweetie.
skin.
I
And
don't-
also, this animal is going to live for a long time. Let's say this dog is 3. It's going to live to like be around what, 13, 14. And this dog will never love me the way that it loves you. But I have to treat it like I love it just as much as you do. And we have to leave functions early and we have to go take it out.
my
And it's
God.
going to wake me up in the morning. I don't fucking love this dog like that. That's your dog. That's your problem. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, no, I did have an ex-boyfriend who had a dog, and it was a big ass dog, and would always sleep in the bed, and he was in love with the dog.
More than he'll ever love you.
And then when we would have sex, the dog would get mad. That's too much.
And that's, oh, what? He kept it in the room?
The dog would be in the room. Yeah.
That guy's a freak. If you're having sex in front of your dog, that's weird.
I've done it.
But do you do it regularly?
No.
And
No, but you know what happened? Okay, because during the pandemic, I lived with this. I was like living in the guest house of like this hippie house, and they got a dog during the pandemic. So then I was like co-parenting a dog with them, right? And then we tried to like make it work like after I moved out, and it was like too much. And the last time the dog came to my house and stayed with me, he was so bad. And when my boyfriend and I were having sex, he got on the bed.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it was like, no!
Listen,
a
it
violation. I was like, what do you, no!
You're too involved.
You're too involved.
You're crossing boundaries.
You're crossing boundaries left and right.
And it happens sometimes. Like, you know, if you live in a studio apartment, yeah, sometimes the dog's around or whatever. But like, it's like, obviously by choice, I would not want the dog in the room.
Let alone, he got
In
on
the
the
bed.
bed.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't have sex with the dog in the bed.
I'm not a dog girl like that.
You're not.
And again,
What about, you know what, are you more of a cat person? Because cats to me,
cat, if a guy had
fucking
a cat, I
disgusting.
can deal with that. Because I'm like, you know what? The cat probably doesn't like you that much either. You know, like.
I went on one date with this guy. It was going fine. And then we went back to his house, and he had such an extreme jungle gym in his living room for the cat. It was like a palace, dude. Scratching posts with little nooks and crannies for the cat to go into. It was a full-on activity center. And then he had next to the activity center, which was too gross. It was like, this feels very like, maybe you could put this in another room. It doesn't have to be in the living room. Like, the first thing I see is the cat's the cat's sweeping estate. And then he had a pile of newspaper. I was like, what's that? He's like, the cat likes to play in that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's filth.
That's trash.
That is, can you throw that out?
Or when people will like let their dogs like kiss all over their face.
Yeah.
Dude, I've dated guys with dogs that like they're obsessed with, and then the dog will like lick all over its face. It's like, I mean, I just watch your dog lick its genitals. Your dog would eat shit if your dog actually does. It eats cat shit.
Yeah.
And then you want to let it lick your mouth, and then you want to come kiss me? I'm going to get an infection.
I don't want
gross.
an infection. And you know what else? If you're going to have a dog, you got to have a lint roller.
Yeah.
Don't put fur on me and not have a way to get it off.
Well, I'm like OCD too. Like if you come to my house, you've been to my house. It's like very clean. Have you ever gone to somebody's house and they've got like a material couch and they have a dog and it's just like covered in slobber and you're like, I can't relax here. And your couch looks like it's covered in cum.
Yeah, no.
But it's not cum. It's dog saliva.
Cum would actually be better.
Yeah, at least at least
cum
it's
of
yours.
someone that you love, like yourself.
but that's cum if it's somebody else. If it's you go to a guy's place and it's cum on their couch and it's not from you, you're like, this isn't.
I'll tell you what, there's definitely some type of cum on that couch.
Yeah, that's been that way.
Yeah. I purposely sit over here because of that.
Yeah.
The cum couch.
The cum couch. The casting couch.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How much cum do you think is like in comedy clubs? A lot.
Wait, do you want to hear this crazy story?
Yeah.
It's funny when you like, I tried to do this as a joke for a little bit, and then you're like, can't believe I ever said this on stage.
There's so many of those for me.
You cringe at the thought you did it. But essentially what happened though is, so I was in college, and I was dating a guy at the time, and they had people over to their house. There was like 4 of them that lived in an apartment, and they had a party, and I went and I had to use his roommate's bathroom. And so I went and I used the roommate's bathroom, and he was out of toilet paper. So I went under the sink to go grab some more toilet paper.
I'm scared.
And I opened up the cabinet, and underneath the sink.
All right, guys, let's take a moment to talk about our sponsors. It's DraftKings Casino. Listen, guys, if the slots are spinning, you could be winning. You guys need to head over to DraftKings Casino and play the classics you know and love. And make sure you check out the DraftKings exclusive games. There's new players that give DraftKings Casino a spin can earn anywhere from $5,000 to $1,000 in casino credits. Just sign up with the code ThisBXX and wager at least $100 on slots or table games to receive up to $1,000 in casino credits. Only on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. You know I love to gamble, Sarah. You know I love a good slot machine. Something about me changes when I'm in Vegas.
That's true.
So this is the ad for me, which brings me to my next point. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus. Physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Minimum $100 in wagers required for reward. Play and earn rewards for up to 7 days by tier reach. Slots and table games only. Non-withdrawable casino credits expire in 168 hours. Wager $70,000 for maximum reward. Terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends March 16th, 2025 at 11:55 p.m. Eastern Time. So once again, make sure you visit DraftKings Casino. Tell them we sent you, and let's get back into the pod.
That's right.
Let's take a moment from the pod to talk about our sponsors. It's Factor Meals.
Ooh, I love Factor Meals.
I know you do, Shankies. You actually showed me Factor Meals. Every time I think of Factor Meals, I think of you bringing over Factor Meals to our house before we would go hit the mics. and they're so easy. They save you so much time. Listen, Factor, if you want to optimize your nutrition this year, Factors has chef-made gourmet meals that make it easy to live well and eat well. They're dietitian approved. They're ready to heat in 2 minutes, so you can fuel up and feel great no matter what life throws at you. Factor arrives fresh and fully prepared. You can lose to 8 pounds in 8 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah, with Factor keto meals based on a randomized controlled clinical trial with Factor Keto. Results will depend on diet and exercise. But they have 40 options, 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week. It's easy to pick and tailor your goals. You can choose from things like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, or Keto. So there's a lot of options for everybody there.
It's really easy to just grab. That's what I like about it.
Dude, any way I can save a few minutes so I can relax.
And the taste, chef's kiss.
Yes. And then this year you can reach your goals with ingredients you can trust. I love to save time. I love a quick, easy meal. And it's delicious, dude. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/thisbe50off and use code thisbe50off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code thisbe50off at factormeals.com/thisbe50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. And make sure you let them know that this bitch sent you.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's get back into it.
Let's get back into it.
Was a red Solo cup filled with cum. Yeah, dude. I swear to God, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I like didn't know what it was. Like you leave it, you put it back, it's foul. And I've thought about it since then. And my guess was that like he'd wake up and he'd jack off in the morning. And I'm sure like after a night of partying, there's a red Solo cup by his bed. And he didn't know what to do with the cum. He didn't want to cum on himself. So
a cup full of cum?
Yeah, so he came in the cup. And then you come in the cup and then you put it down and maybe you forgot about it. And then the next morning.
No, you could not forget about a cup of cum. I'm sorry. That is disgusting. You come in a cup, guess what? You're throwing out the cup.
I'm just trying to make logic of the situation because I'm like, why would it be there? And I'm like, so maybe he came in the cup again. Now he's come in the cup 2 times, maybe 3 times.
His cum cup.
And he's looking at the cup and he's like, I wonder how full I can get this thing. And thus a cum cup is born.
Oh,
men are gross.
I prefer a sock, honestly.
Well, at least, I don't know, at least a cum cup has hard boundaries. A sock can seep.
Ooh, I didn't even think about the seeping of a cum sock.
Imagine going to a guy's place and you're walking through his room and you're like, you step on it. And this is why I don't stay with, like, in general, when I travel, I always forget this rule. And then I relearn it the hard way. But I'm like, I'm done staying at friends' places, especially guys' places. Not even that long ago, I stayed at a friend's house when I was traveling. And it was a house full of 3 guys. I slept in. He was like, we got an extra bed for you, blah, blah, blah. You can stay in like our guest room. It's literally a twin-size bed in the back part of their basement, an unfinished basement. I'm like, this is like a dungeon.
Yeah.
And so I was staying there. I went and I took a shower and I asked one of the guys, I was like, do you have like an extra towel? And he leaves and he comes back and he told me, he was like, I found this in the bottom of my closet.
Ew, already? No.
I used the towel and I wiped it on my face and it hurt. And I was like, what the?
It was hard?
It was like hard. And I told him that after, and that's what he told me. He found it in the bottom part of his closet. And I realized later. I need
a fresh towel.
It was his cum towel. It was a towel that he had come in and he threw it in the bottom of his closet, forgot about it, and gave to me.
It was all crunchy?
And it was like crunchy. And I'm like, this is why I don't stay with guys anymore.
Especially comedians.
Yeah, this wasn't a comic. This was just a regular life boy.
That's even more gross.
Yeah,
like with a comedian, you expect it kind of.
Yeah, I think he was embarrassed too. But here's the thing.
But the thing is, you got to be self-aware.
Yeah.
If I have sons, they're going to be hygienic. Okay,
mm-hmm.
We're not coming wherever we want.
Yeah.
In my house.
I actually.
In mommy's house, we don't come wherever we want.
I was naive to the situation. I wiped my face with the towel. And then I was like, that was so weird. It was like, must have like dried weird. Like I didn't think about it until like much later.
You know what else? I don't like a mildew towel.
Yeah, where you smell it and you're like,
this is not fresh.
There's people now, it took me a while to figure this out. There's some people whose like natural smells,
Disgusting.
I just like my body rejects. Like their
Yeah.
like their pheromones. I'm like, that person smells awful. I don't want to be around that person.
I know, because it's your body's way of being like, you'd have a weak baby, don't fuck them.
You'd have a
That's what I think.
a mold baby.
A gross ass baby, dude.
Yeah,
With a weak immune system.
that would die of scurvy or something.
You're not
Some-
making
or
it
some-
past the first trimester with a bad pheromone baby.
Yeah, some old plague that we thought was gone is gonna hit your baby.
Have you ever dated someone for an extended period of time who you didn't really like their smell, but you try to ignore it?
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah. And it was funny.
It's undeniable. Your body literally rejects it.
And it was more so after the relationship had ended and I like had seen him in the future that I was like, oh, you smell awful. And I guess I always knew, but I ignored it.
Yeah, because you become immune to it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's just his scent.
Yeah. He's earthy.
He's earthy.
No, and you're like, no, he's sour.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, I love the way my boyfriend smells now, thank God.
Oh yeah, my boyfriend has a drawer at his house, at my house, sorry. And I'll go in there and like just like smell his shirt.
Yeah.
It's funny, giving a guy a drawer at your place is like giving like a cat a bed. You know, where you like give it to them and they don't use it in the beginning. And then one day you catch them like sitting on it and you're like, oh my God, he likes it.
Yeah. Dude, like every time I go to my boyfriend's house, he gives me a shirt and he never asked for the shirt back. But then the other day he was like, I knew that he wanted this one shirt back, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you keep asking me about the shirt. Let me find it. And then I found it. And I don't know where this is going, but.
Well, that's when you got to find it, wash it, spritz your perfume on it, and then give it back.
It was already spritzed.
Yeah, girls are insane too.
Yeah, we're equally insane.
Yeah. Remember when you would like break up with a guy or the relationship would end one way or another? And you would call him and you'd be like, well, you need to come get your stuff. And all of your stuff like had been perfectly sprayed with your perfume. And you're like, and it's like all nicely folded. And you're like, yeah, remember me.
Yeah, you're going to have to come get your stuff. The exchanging of stuff after a breakup is least favorite.
I don't know. I don't want it back. Like even like I've known people who have like worn like a necklace their boyfriend gave them after or whatever else. It's like,
no, I'm selling it.
I'm selling it. I don't want it. I'd give it away for free. Like I don't want the memories. Items have like energy on it. I'm like, I don't want your
I know.
energy anymore.
After one of my breakups, I took all of the shit he bought me and donated it to Buffalo Exchange. And by donated, I mean sold. It does sound better to say donated. It makes you sound like a better person. But then I was like, let me correct myself.
One time
I sold it.
I went to Goodwill with like bags full of stuff. My intention was to go to like Plato's Closet.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention. I had pulled up and I was a Goodwill. I always swore it was a Plato's Closet and they were like, oh, I had like gotten in and I had looked around and realized that like I would be donating it and not selling it. And I was like, oh my bad. And I took it all back and left. Just to go make like what, $30? Like
No, and it's so humiliating when you go to those places and the ladies are like, in LA, they're cunts. They'll look at the item and be, yeah, we're not really buying this right now.
they're like, oh, free people?
Free people, this is like a few seasons ago. Yeah, I don't think that's for us.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, what do you think? And then they talk to each other.
Like you're not there.
Yeah.
Like this isn't all
they're
of, like these
no.
clothes don't have feelings.
Yeah.
Like these inanimate objects don't have feelings.
Yeah.
They're not sad to hear. And you're like, not in front of the children.
No, that's so funny. Not in front of the children.
I used to be much more of a thrifter than I am now. And don't get me wrong, like I'll thrift some cool things.
Me too.
But then I like realized that like half this stuff I was like thrifting, I'd get it home and I'd put it in my closet. And I'm just like looking at like this dingy flannel and I'm like, I'm kind of grossed out by it. Like I don't want, you know?
When I was going hard with the thrifting, I felt like I had to wash my clothes extra all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why does it smell like a fucking Goodwill in my closet now?
You know-
I can't have the scent of death
Yeah.
in my closet because the person who wore the thing before it is long gone.
Well, and also think about like somebody that you think is gross or that you don't like or whatever else, and they're wearing a flannel. And if I was like, oh, you should go put on that person's flannel, you'd be like, never in my life.
Yeah, it's like putting on someone's socks.
You know, but then you'll go to Goodwill and you're like, you have no backstory on the person that wore it before you. They could be like a fucking rapist.
I try to disassociate.
You can't, like I said, there's energy on these things.
Yeah, it's true. When Kim and I used to have this sleepover show, and I'd get us matching pajamas from Goodwill. And at one point, we had so many pairs of pajamas, and I got rid of all of them because I was like, I can't be in someone else's pajamas. Pajamas seem personal.
Pajamas are personal.
Used pajamas is sad.
Yeah. There's things I won't buy used because like I'll do like Facebook Marketplace and stuff, and like I don't want a used rug. I would never do like a used mattress.
A used mattress.
That is somebody sleep on it. Yeah. I don't even know if I knew the person if I'd want a used mattress.
No, I want a fresh mattress.
Yeah. And then like rugs are kind of gross too. What if they have an animal that pees on it? Clearly I'm not a big animal person.
No, I know. If we're finding that out.
Yeah.
Every mention of a man with a dog's your nightmare. Turns out.
If a dog comes up and starts licking me, I'm like, foul. Like I did not invite you to do that. I don't want this. You didn't get my consent before you started.
I don't like
licking
it when
me.
a dog puts his nose in my pussy.
Yeah.
What is that?
And then it's like he's smelling the menstruation like a bear.
Yeah, I'm like, this is embarrassing for everyone. Like, it's not my dog. Now his fucking head is in my pussy.
It makes the owner look like a creep.
Like, and they're like, get down, bud. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah. They're like, stop it.
Out of there. And it's like your vagina.
Yeah, and you're like, what do you fucking put peanut butter on your cock? Why does your dog love what is he looking for, treats?
Yeah, it's too much.
No, I'm with you. Dogs can be creeps. When they get the little red rocket, foul. Dude, I'm really figuring out that I'm not a dog person.
I don't think you're a dog person.
No.
I thought that I was. One time, my friend goes, this is when I was single. She's like, I have a guy for you. He lives in Malibu. I'm like, okay. He has
check.
He has 3 pigs. 3 pigs?
That's a lot of pigs.
3 pigs, a hedgehog.
1 pig with a backstory. I'm interested.
3 pigs and a hedgehog.
That also means he has land. Unless he keeps them in the house.
He kept the pigs in the house.
Well, then he literally lives in like what? A pigsty.
He literally lived in a pigsty, and the pigs were on the couch, and there was like towels draped on the couch so that the pigs could fucking. And when I say pig, I don't mean like a cute little babe. I mean like a fat, disgusting, like
they're not soft either, are they?
No, coarse. Like
yeah, they're
pubic
coarse.
hair, like type hair.
That's what they are. They're like a coarse.
It's like fucking disgusting. It was so disgusting, and I was like, I can never be with a man who has 3 pigs. This is insane. Insanity. She's like, what do you think? I'm like, he has 3 pigs, and they're too involved in his lifestyle.
And they're all women.
And then he had a hedgehog, and I thought that, because I see hedgehogs in my algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
On Instagram. My algorithm gives me a lot of hedgehogs. Keep it up if you're listening.
Yeah.
I do love them. But they'll have them in like little like socks and shit. So I thought that maybe the hedgehog would warm my soul. This is fucking disgusting when I saw it. I thought it was going to be like cuter than it was.
Do you remember those they're called like sugar gliders that used to like sell them at the mall? Did you guys
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And they're like basically like little like flying squirrels that become like really attached to you and you can kind of just keep them in your pocket.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of want one of them.
Are those legal?
They sold them at the mall, like at like a kiosk.
When?
At least the mall I went to growing
in Missouri.
Up. That mall is shut down now.
We didn't have sugar gliders at my mall.
Really? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think this is very niche. I
know what they're. I feel like I see them in my algorithm. You want to know what we had at my mall? We had those fucking those. They'd be like pixelated pictures, and you just stare at them and try to see like a castle in there.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Your mall sucks.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Our mall was cool.
What was that called? It was like in the 90s. You would stare at those dots.
Like the therapy photos?
No, it was like this thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do. I was
You
more
had
of a- I
sugar
was more of a
gliders.
sugar glider girl myself.
I remember also at the mall they had like crabs,
Yeah,
like hermit crabs in habitats.
we did have hermit crabs. Yeah, hermit crabs. One bit my like finger, like or clawed it, and we just spatulated it into the backyard.
No,
I did. We couldn't get it off. It
you
was terrifying.
spatched the crab into the backyard.
He lived. He was never the same, but he lived.
No.
We used to have hermit crabs. It's like weird.
Did
when-
you have a hamster or anything?
Oh my God. My sister got hamsters like behind my mom's back, and she got two. And I don't know if she didn't know or if she was just stupid, but they mated. Hamsters are foul. They mate when a hamster has a baby. One, you have to kill the dad because the dad will eat the children. So we did. We fed the dad to my brother's snake. But then
What?
What?
What? You used the male hamster for sperm and then fed him to a snake?
It gets worse. The
You
hamster babies,
objectified this male hamster.
they're hairless and they're bloody and they're gross. Well, then the mom will start to eat them too. So then the mom started to eat all of the hamsters. And so like the whole hamster cage was just like this bloody nightmare. Only like one survived.
Did you keep the hamster?
We gave it to a neighbor. It
Not the
seemed too much.
cannibal hamster.
Yeah. Oh no, the mom one we also fed to the snake. She was a murderer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Eating your own children?
That's what they do. And it's really horrifying.
Okay. There's this family and they had 4 girls and we used to always go to their house to play and have sleepovers because they were like, whatever, everyone just went over there because it was the fun house because they had so many kids. And the mom was like, let's another 10 more. Come on over, right?
Yeah.
And they had a hamster because their parents were like, we're not getting a dog. We already have 4 kids. Like, that's not happening.
And kids are dogs.
And yeah. And so they got a fucking hamster and then they treated the hamster dude like a dog. The hamster was getting passed around. It was obvious the hamster was not going to live for too long.
I feel bad for people or for animals when you see them in environments like that where you're like I
It's not a dog, sweetie. You can't just pass the hamster around all day. It's going to die.
I also I have a hot take. I don't think that people should be allowed to get dogs in college. I went to like a really big party school. People had like dogs, and I'm like, I like despise when people bring dogs to a bar. Like if you bring like there's casual bars in like environments where it's like restaurants, that's fine. But like I've seen people bring like dogs out to like 6th Street or
That's
like
mean.
going out clubs. I'm like, these dogs hear what 10, 20 times higher or more sensitive to hearing than you are, and you have this in like a DJ, like around a DJ in like a club. That's insane. That's like dog abuse. There's this guy, and I won't name the club. It's a comedy club in a different city, and it was attached to a nightclub. And the owner of the building would bring his basset hound. So like the dogs with the really big
Those are
ears.
really cute.
They're really cute. They
They
also
look sad.
they hear even higher than most dogs
They
do.
hunt.
And yeah, they're like hunting dogs. And he would bring it into this nightclub. And I was like, that makes me so mad. That dog should not be here. Like his poor ears. And then the person I was with was like, yeah, well, it's okay. The dog's deaf. And I'm like, well, why do you think the dog's deaf? Because his hearing is blown out. It shouldn't be here.
That's sad.
When people bring like their puppies like out to like really like popular crowded loud bars for attention. And I'm like,
I
take
used
your
to do
dog
that
home.
actually when I did bowling club at the all boys school because I went to an all girls school and I wanted to hang out with men. So I was like, Mom, I'm interested in bowling now. And I was like, bring the puppy because we just had gotten a dog.
Yeah.
And I would use it as a way to get guys to talk to me.
Yeah. You didn't even know.
A little
You
trap.
didn't even. Here's the thing: is you were doing what we hate so much in men now.
Yeah,
You were once the problem.
I was.
But you were in middle school and
Yeah.
you were at a bowling alley. I
Yeah.
think that a bowling alley's okay.
Yeah. Well, no, so the family that had the hamster, one day they left the hamster in the laundry room in its fucking weird little cage and it cooked in there because it was so hot in there.
I knew this girl that once had a hairless cat and she left it in. She dried it
What do
like
you
in the
mean?
dryer on accident. And
It's
it
like
died.
the
A
sound of,
hairless cat too. Yikes.
imagine taking that out. A dead hairless cat.
Hairless cats don't do anything for me.
Hairless cats I have a friend who has a hairless cat. They smell weird.
Yeah, because
They smell
it's
like Play-Doh, and they
it's
feel like
skin.
balls.
Yeah. It's just a cat full of skin.
It's just a skinny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. But I like the idea of one with like a spiked neck collar on for
Really?
fashion.
I actually could
For
weirdly see.
fashion.
I could see you like you remember Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah.
Remember like the little Siamese cats?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's like what I see you with. Like something that has built-in attitude.
2 of those Siamese cats.
Hmm.
I do love Lady and the Tramp. It might be my favorite Disney movie.
Really? I haven't seen like watched a Disney movie all the way through in like a while.
I mean, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, wouldn't it be a lot weirder if I was like every Friday night?
Every Friday night,
I sit home, I watch
Bambi again.
always Bambi.
Always Bambi.
I skip to the part where the mom dies.
Oh my God. That's so sad. I tried to watch Dumbo. Last time I was on
I feel like that's kind of
psychedelics,
trippy.
I tried to watch Dumbo.
Yeah,
I sobbed.
really.
This is when Dumbo gets separated from his mom and they're like in a circus. It's like, who is this for?
Well, doesn't Dumbo also get like bullied too?
I think so.
Yeah. I once cried at the Bee movie. That was a low.
The Bee movie? I've never seen the Bee movie.
Yeah. Oh, really? It's a woman. She falls in love with the bee.
That's not real. Is it a cartoon?
Yeah.
A woman falls in love with a bee?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, imagine pitching that. So you're gonna have a hot woman. She's dating somebody. She's gonna leave the guy that she's dating because she falls in love with a bee, and not just a bee with the voice of Jerry Seinfeld.
No.
Yeah. Which Jerry Seinfeld as a man would be hard to convince to like
Yeah.
have to listen to that all the time. But let alone you put him in a bee and you're like, you know what? So
That is. What's the deal with? And it's like.
what's the deal with all this honey?
Yeah, it's Jerry Seinfeld as a bee, a woman falling in love with that. I don't know how so many movies that get made. I'm like, how? There was this Christmas movie that I saw about this woman who falls in love with a snowman who comes to life.
Oh, what I never watched it, but I saw the rage over it. It was with Gretchen Wieners,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And the snowman was hot when he came to life, but I was like, that's also a crazy thing to make.
Yeah. I feel like you have to like be on drugs
Like, all right, so
to think of this shit.
a snowman that becomes a real dude, a real hot dude.
Yeah. It's like, lady, you're a freak. You know, like if that's what you're like conjuring up in your winter time.
Yeah. We need something for the ladies this holiday season.
When you look at Santa
Yeah,
and you take aside the fact that he's supposed to be like a jolly man,
yeah.
giving kids presents, when you just think of Santa objectively, it's like Santa is an infinitely old guy who watches your children
When they sleep.
when they sleep,
It knows that they've been good.
knows when they're sleeping, knows when they're bad or good, keeps a meticulous list.
Santa's a pedophile.
And then amongst all that, he lures them in with like presents, and that's how he builds their trust and their loyalty.
He's grooming them.
Yeah, and then he uses a town full of other children to make
And small whimsical creatures. with
Yeah.
Pointy ears.
presents for his future victims.
And guess what? You better leave the perp some cookies.
Yeah, and be grateful,
And
bitch.
be grateful.
Come sit on my lap.
It's so
He's a creep.
dude. What about the elf on the shelf thing?
I think that the
That's
elf
too
on the
much.
shelf. I think
I'm
that people
exhausted watching the other people who have children do the elf on the shelf.
Listen,
The elves, they get into mischief, so every day you have to create a storyline and you got to move the elves.
I will
And then if
say,
you don't have the elf at the shelf at your house, then you're a bad mom.
I think that Christmas has gone too far. It's one thing to lie to your kid about Santa. That's just like what folklore.
Yeah.
You know, that's like tradition.
Did your parents ever tell you Santa's not real?
I think I like picked it up on it myself.
My parents never explicitly told me that Santa's
You-
not
you
real.
should
They
go-
kept the thing going. I was at high school. My mom would sign it from the fat man in the red suit,
Wink.
and I'd be like, "Yep."
Honestly,
They
like
never were like Santa's not real.
there's this
If your kid asks you, do you tell him?
My niece asked me,
What'd you
and
say?
she was like, please don't lie to me. I know my mom's lying to me. So then I'm like,
You told her Santa wasn't real.
she asked me point blank. I didn't just go like ruin her day.
And then what?
And then her mom got really mad at me.
She did?
My sister got really mad at me. But I remember this little Jewish kid on the bus told me that Santa wasn't real.
Yeah.
So
My parents just lied.
I mean, hey, you expected like the whole Jewish community of children to keep a hard secret that they knew was bullshit. You know, like that's honestly, I'm surprised that's not how most kids found out.
The honest Jews. The honest Jews ruined
honest
Christmas
Jews
for
ruining
the
Christmas.
Gentiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. My parents never were like my mom. My mom until I was in college was like, well, you got to give me a list or Santa won't come.
In college?
Yeah.
You should call her up and be like, Mom, I need to know the truth.
Is Santa real?
I see though like videos of like people with like the elf on the shelf and like what they're willing to do for their kids around Christmas that I'm like, listen, Santa's one thing. This is kind of fucked up.
The elf on the shelf thing's crazy. They had like, you got to name the elves. I have one friend who they made it look like the elves drove the car.
Well,
They left the car door wide open with a thing of donuts.
Dude, I've seen the videos where they'll literally do like stop motion where their kids don't believe. And so they're like, no, so we made this cool video of the elf to show them that he's real. I'm like, that's like fucking with their head.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah, I'm like,
It's
you're like doing like
orchestrating-
mental warfare to your children.
But I'm like, yeah, I don't know. And then if you don't move the elf, because it's just too much shit. I helped my boyfriend do Santa Claus stuff, and I was like, that was the first time that I was on the other side of it. That shit's exhausting.
Yeah.
That shit is exhausting because you also have to tap into the mind of a kid who's trying to figure out whether or not Santa's real, and you're like, oh, we have to use different wrapping paper for the Santa presents because if we use the same wrapping paper,
They're
the
gonna
Santa
know.
presents, they're gonna know, and then they're gonna have to figure out a reason why that happened.
Listen, my nieces and nephews, because I have a ton of nieces and nephews, and I'll say, like, I love them, great kids, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're spoiled, you know? Like,
yeah.
and I was around for, like, the holidays, and I'm like, these kids are getting too many presents. When I'm a mom, I, like, genuinely think, like, I'm going to be, like,
I'm gonna be a nightmare.
no, I'm going to be, like, a 1920s mom. I'm going to be, like, you can have, like, Connect 4. Like, I'm going to be, like, I'm not going to do, like, a ton of toys. I think that
That's
makes
what you
kids
think.
stupid.
I think that's what you think. And then you'll have a kid and you'll be like, yes, we're getting her a princess castle. We're getting her a tricycle. You get like.
They'll have toys, you know, like they'll have like things like that. But I've also read that like, honestly, like it affects their like attention when they have too many toys because they have too many options.
Sometimes.
What's wrong with kids picking up a book anymore? Kids don't know how to read.
Pick up a ball. Go outside.
Learn cursive and I'll get you a dollhouse.
Yeah.
You know?
Learn cursive.
Yeah.
Work on your cursive cues.
Why are we retiring cursive?
I don't know, but it feels like it's like a cool thing. Like it's like calligraphy now.
It's
you know, because calligraphy back in the day, it was like mind blowing. Now we can do cursive, and to Gen Z people, that's like calligraphy. We're so old timey with our cursive.
People are gonna be like signing their names like they're children, like on a check. You know, like it's just gonna be like
printing.
Yeah, in lowercase letters.
It's not even effective.
No,
but there's an effectiveness to cursive.
I think cursive. I mean, I write.
Not to sound like a dinosaur, but
I'll like use cursive still
I
sometimes.
do. In my notebook,
Mm-hmm.
I do a cross between cursive and not.
Sorry, I like to write in whimsy every once in a while.
Yes. It's like writing in a English accent.
Yeah, it's writing an attitude.
Yeah.
It's writing in the form of mystery.
Sorry, I'm not a peasant.
Yeah.
I do know cursive.
I did. I recently bought a feather pen that I dipped in ink.
You did.
Yeah, actually, Amazon's got this great set I recommend, and it was really fun to write in cursive.
Like a Clueless type pen?
Like, I don't know.
Or you mean
Like you know, like William Shakespeare.
That's So crazy.
I did. My boyfriend he's like really into like
Pens?
medieval stuff and like,
He is?
yeah.
Have you guys gone to the Ren Fair?
No, he's not into it like that. Like he's more like into just like history in general. I've got a very big history boyfriend. I know a lot more about history than I've ever known in my entire
These men
life.
and their history. Was he into World War II?
Who isn't? What
I
man?
mean,
What guy with a
every
cock and
man
balls doesn't love
like
World
World
War
War
II? What guy
Let
with
me
a cock?
guess. World War II is your favorite.
Oh, tell me who your favorite president is. Is it JFK? Is it? Every guy nowadays think that if they had a suit and an American tie, that they're Kennedy.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
He's really into that though, and I technically got the pen for him, but I did open the present before and use it.
You took
and
it for a test.
Yeah.
Was it just you got it for him and then you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I
Well.
just want to take it for a spin.
Yeah. Well,
Just like take the car for a drive.
It's actually so much dorkier. I bought him tickets to Hamilton for Christmas.
Okay, cute.
And I bought him the pen, and I bought him a scroll, and I invited him to Hamilton via scroll. And
Whoa, dude, you're for sure gonna be an elf on the shelf, Mom.
nah.
If you got your man a scroll for Hamilton, sweetie, the elf is gonna be everywhere at your house.
You can't. Don't put that evil on me.
Yeah.
You can't do that. I did though. It was cute. I got him a ticket. This was one of those sweet moments where you're like, oh, we're supposed to be together. I got him tickets to Hamilton, which is his favorite play, and I invited him to it by writing him a handmade note on a scroll with a feather pen.
Did you burn the edges of the scroll?
It was already worn when I bought it. And he got me tickets to Clue, which is like when they were in like theater.
Okay.
And Clue is my favorite movie of all time, like the one that was made in the 80s.
Okay.
And he made me like a handmade invitation to Clue. And I gave him the handmade scroll, and he was like, "Shut the fuck up." And he goes, "I want to comment on this, but it has to wait. You need to open your present." And I opened my present, and he had also gotten me, a ticket to a theater production with a handmade note.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
I know. So we already went to Clue, and then we've got Hamilton coming up.
Whoa, you guys are a cultured couple.
Hey, I'm a new woman now. I read.
My boyfriend and I get pizza, and we're like, hell yeah.
Oh, we still do that. But
We're not going to Hamilton or Clue. I feel like I need to do more culturally enriching things.
I started reading again this year.
You did?
And now
you have a Kindle?
No. I read actual books. I'm better than everybody. I'm a woman of substance.
What
Sarah.
have you read? What are you reading?
Right now we're reading The Pillars of the Earth.
We're reading. You guys read together?
Yeah, we do like a book club of just two.
No.
So
Do you guys read it together at night?
No, we like read them separately, but what
And
we
then-
do is he picks a book, then I pick a book, then he picks a book, then I pick a book.
You talks amongst yourself?
And then we'll like talk about the book.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
My boyfriend and I don't read like that.
We
I'm feeling kind of like an idiot, to be honest.
I told you.
I see the way you're looking at me. You're
We're-
looking
I'm
a
a
little down at
refined woman.
You're like, Hamilton? Haven't seen it. Peasant.
Oh, you don't have your own scroll and feather pen? Loser.
Oh my
I bet you can't even read cursive. I bet you that was all a hoax that you were
It was
saying
a
earlier.
hoax.
Yeah,
That's so crazy.
I read
so-
now. I used to read a lot when I was a kid, and then I stopped. And then I didn't know how to
Same.
get back into reading. If you actually want to get back into reading, there's a couple of books that I have read
yeah,
that I'm
yeah.
like, this would be really good to get back
What?
into.
Like what?
There's this one book I read called The Shadow of the Wind. That was a really good book.
Is that fiction?
It was fiction.
I went in a very hard self-help direction for a while.
Yeah, but that doesn't keep you. You
No,
know?
because you're like, I'm having a good day today. Fuck
Yeah.
that book. I don't need to read about my soul being tethered. It's not. I'm having a good day today.
Well, we also have read some books where he did he picked out this F. Scott Fitzgerald book called Tender is the Night. And
I
I'm
thought
like,
you were gonna say The Great Gatsby. 'cause,
no, it was a separate
classic.
one. And I'm like, this book sucks. Like, this is like
Tender
all,
is the Night.
Tender is the Night. I'm like, this is all ego driven. This guy, he's like, there's some people that write where it's like, you're just writing for yourself. You're not writing for the viewer to enjoy this book.
I like
Your ego is
Bukowski.
writing.
Bukowski, dude.
Sarah likes Bukaki.
Bukowski.
I actually don't know who Bukowski is.
if you
I won't
read his
pretend I
stuff-
know more than I do. I'm a newly into reading again person. I read like maybe
Bianca's book club.
8 books in the last 6-7 months. Actually,
That's pretty good.
Dude.
I
All right, I'm
read.
back on top again. You've
Yeah.
convinced me.
I read. I felt like my whole life I just read in school.
Mhm.
So then it kind of sucked the joy out of reading for me because it was just for school all the time.
I was
when it
like a
became
big book
mandatory.
nerd growing up.
When I was younger, I would read a lot. And then when it became mandatory to be reading like The Grapes of Wrath, and it's like 700 pages, but I do love that book.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever read The Grapes of
It's
Wrath.
fucking, it's so fat. It's the fattest book ever. And it ends with like some lady breastfeeding some guy who's dying during the Dust Bowl.
Oh. Okay, maybe I will
Yeah,
read it.
yeah, it'll stay with you, sweetie.
The one so we alternate who picks out the book, and the one he just picked out is 1,000 pages. It has to count. This one counts for 2 of his books. It's called The Pillars of the Earth, and it takes like place in like medieval times. It's actually
This
really.
man loves medieval times.
I'm telling
Have you guys gone to medieval times?
We've
restaurant?
not done the Renaissance Festival.
No, but medieval times is like a restaurant where
Wait, in Austin?
no, I don't know if they have one in Austin. They have it in California. And it's like there's nights and shit. Can we pull up medieval times?
Yeah, I'm working outside.
You get like a turkey leg
Oh, I mean,
and there's like horses and shit and you got to
it is funny when you go to like Six Flags. That's like the most like you look at the people there, you look at what you're doing, and then they're like, and you know what we should do? We should only feed these people turkey legs. And you're like, what kind of like barbarian shit is this?
It is. It's so barbaric.
But those turkey legs are so good, and I kind of wish more places offered them.
turkey legs. Okay, look, medieval times.
Well, look up the Medieval Times restaurant.
Yeah. Medieval times dinner.
Brandon, are you a big medieval guy?
Yeah, I like medieval, and yeah, the medieval times is sick. They had one back in California.
Yeah.
So Brandon also knows my boyfriend, and how much have I said about his love of?
Yeah, you're pretty spot on. I like find out history facts and call him.
It-
Did you know this?
I mean, I'm toning him down a little bit too. He's a
You're
true.
toning down his history knowledge.
Yeah, he's a true freak. That I love.
He has like he knows a bunch of special facts about history.
Yeah, he's like genuinely probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. in my
Really?
life.
I can't retain
Yeah.
that much information. Sometimes I'll talk to people and they'll know so much stuff, and I'll be like, "How do you know all of
Dude,
that?"
he'll like read like a 1,000-page book on Alexander the Great. Like just like he's always got a nonfiction while we're reading our book, he's always got his side book too.
I can't. Not a side book.
No, he's got
I
side
can't
books.
have you with side books,
Yeah, he's got side books.
dude. Side.
Well, he has
book-
to because he also reads too fast, and I get annoyed because we'll pick out a book together, and he'll be
He's
like,
got a side book.
"Yeah, he has to in
I
order to
get
keep the
mad.
main book happy."
I get mad. No side books in this house, sweetie.
Wait, so this is they've got one in Dallas.
Yeah, you gotta go to medieval times,
Yeah.
dude.
And next time you find yourself in Dallas, at 4.7 stars, 13,000,
It's-
almost 14,000 Google reviews.
It's fucking amazing.
Oh, wait, no, this is a dinner and tournament.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's like men on horses and you like cheer for them. It's a whole experience.
You know what? I actually recently went to a rodeo, and it was kind of sad, and I feel like I would almost enjoy that more.
A rodeo is sad.
Yeah.
They had pig racing at the Ventura County Fair. That was cute.
Oh, I bet your ex-boyfriend would have hated that.
Yeah. I never dated him.
Really? Yeah,
Never dated the pig guy. I met him one time and I said, "That'll do, pig."
That'll do, pig.
And that'll do, pig. Oh my God.
Oh, I know. I want to go to. Now I'm hungry. Now I want to go eat a turkey leg.
A turkey leg. Well, this was a fun podcast.
This was.
Where can people find you? This is coming out. Let me look at my calendar really quick.
She's got to pencil me in. In the meantime, I'll say,
Yeah, where can people find you?
the benefits of having a unique name. I got all the usernames, so it's
Yes.
just Bianca Parato. We were actually, my boyfriend and I were talking about you this morning because he was like, I really like that she goes by Princess Shenk.
He does?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
and
Because I picked the title years and years ago, and now it's just stayed. And now I
But
can't. No.
also look at what we just talked about, all the medieval shit. He's like, I do enjoy that she's a princess. But it's Bianca Parato on everything. And fun fact, I bought my website name Bianca. I started doing comedy, but I was like, I'm gonna need this one day. And it expired a year later, and I had to go back and rebuy it, and it was worth less money
No.
when I bought it the second time. So
No. Can I tell you what happened to me? I had this guy who did my hair, and then he moved, and then he bought princessshenk.com and tried to sell it to me for $1,000.
what a psycho.
He goes, do you want your website, princessshenk.com? I was like, no, I have SarahWeinshenk.com. He was like, well, what about princessshenk.com? It's worth more, and I'm willing to give it to you at a great deal. I'm like, that's nuts. That'd be like if I bought Bianca and then try to sell it to you. Wouldn't you be like, you're mentally ill?
Yeah.
Stop trying to exploit me for cash.
You're mentally ill, but thank you for believing in me.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like that's the thing. Is
I don't have $1,000 to give you. And if I did, it would be for my hair,
Yeah.
not for my website.
You're
my
like, also,
priorities
you cut my
are-
hair to great clips. Let's be
Yeah.
honest on the budget that I have.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck? Okay, so this is gonna come out on February 26th.
Oh, and you know what today is, Sarah?
What?
Valentine's Day.
Today is Valentine's
We're actually
Day.
each other's Valentine.
We
right
are.
now.
It's Galentine's.
It's
I don't like that.
Galentine.
I don't like the Galentine's. It makes me feel nauseous.
Okay.
I feel like it's like single
We can
women
we can
trying to
keep-
band together. And I love women, but like Galentine's Day.
We
makes
can
me
keep. Let's
feel
keep the V.
embarrassed.
Keep the V.
Yeah,
Keep it the OG V
dude.
Day.
It's just
and-
Valentine's Day. It's not Galentine's Day. I don't like the branding around it.
No. But here's the thing. Whether you're into Valentine's Day or not, I do love a day around gathering.
Oh, I thought you were going to say love.
Well, kind of same thing. Spending time.
Spending time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's our podcast, you guys. I am coming to Phoenix, Arizona, March 27th. I will be headlining at the Desert Ridge Improv, and then I'm coming to where am I going? I'm going to Canada. The 11th of April through the 13th, I'm doing LOL Fest with Kim Congdon in Nova Scotia, Canada. And then in May, I believe it's the 14th and 15th, I'm at the Brea Improv and Oxnard Improv with Kim Congdon. Get tickets to that at Princess Shenk for all my show dates. You can find me here every Wednesday on Shenk, every Monday on This Bitch, patreon.com/Sara Weinshenk, and we'll see you next week.
Woo!